Well, finally here. Questions you got?
Coach, what's the situation? I know there was ejections at the end of the game last year. I don't know how that really works. Or some of the players, I think Brandon Cleveland might have been one.
Yeah, so we have two guys, Val Erickson and Brandon Cleveland, that are not available in the first half.
Noah can play in the first half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, DK Cotton was the other.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Jeff. Yeah.
I know you've talked a lot about that. I wonder about coaching. So you want your guys to play emotional, you want them to play physical. How do you get them right to that line without going over?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's a physical game, and you know the way I look or compare it is when you watch MMA, you watch boxing matches, you see the same thing. These guys go in these rings, and during that time, that's the enemy. At the end of it, what do? They go up and hug each other. You know, and I don't see it any different. Football's a brotherhood. They're the enemy during the game. We want to win the football game. They want to win the football game. But you should play it with respect. You know, and that has nothing to do with how physical you are during the game. It's the stuff that doesn't belong in the game. And our guys know that. It's been talked about a lot.
Have you heard from any old timers, Dave? This is a game that used to be played every single year to start the season. Have you heard from any of them about nostalgia on this game?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our former players come to training camp, and it's great seeing them when they do. It's rare for one of them to talk about a specific team. You know, it's more about our team and how the guys are doing. But, you know, we know as coaches, we know what we need to do in all games that we play, and particularly in-state games, what they mean to our program.
ECU's quarterback wasn't much of a runner throughout the year last year. He ran a lot in the bowl. You know, how much does that kind of play into coming into this game?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good football player. Yeah, a lot of respect for him. He grew up as the year went on, got more and more confident. Obviously, having the same offensive coordinator, having the same terminology, same offense, you know, just like our quarterback, he's going to feel more comfortable than he did a year ago. And so we have to defend him as a passer. We have to defend him as a runner.
Understanding that both teams are different from what they were when you guys last faced each other, is there a little bit of an advantage to the fact that you did play the same team the last time you guys were on the field?
In some ways, yes. I mean, schematically, we have a new defensive coordinator, so there's some wait and see on what the differences are there. Offensively, you know, they have some personnel that's back and some that's new, so I think both teams, and really across college football, have that first quarter, who are they? Because there's new guys on the field across the country for every team. But it does help in some ways. You know, the things that are carryover things, that helps. Things that are new, it's adjustments.
Dave, with this being a rivalry game, I mean, do you just see it in the players' eyes, like, hey, you know, we can go out there and, you know, set the tone for the season with a win over an in-state club?
Yeah, I mean, we have goals like every team does, and to accomplish the goals you said, it starts with the opening win, right? Like, you want to win your first game, and how we play matters. And it's way less about who we're playing than it is about how we play, how we execute. You watch college football, I watched it over the weekend, there's a lot of penalties, there's a lot of turnovers, and you want to play a clean game, and you want to tackle well in your first game. So how we play is what matters. The execution is what matters. That's how you win the football game. It's not about the other team.
For a veteran coach, is that first game just as exciting as it was when you were?
Absolutely, yeah. My competitive drive has done nothing but increase over the years. So, you know, every one of these games is meaningful. I appreciate wins more than I ever have, because you know, over time you start to really see how hard it is to win games, and you value that. And every loss as a coach sits on you, you know, and you don't get rid of it until you play again. And so when you lose the last game, it's a long wait to get on that field again.
You're the kind of coach that likes having former players around. You added another one recently, Albus Whitted.
Yeah.
What kind of went into bringing him on staff?
I've known Albus for a while. When he was in Wisconsin coaching for Paul Christ, I learned about him. And anytime there's a former player from NC State that's coaching, I do homework on them, because if we have openings, those are players I want to consider, you know, on my list. And so it started then, and Paul had nothing but great things to say about Albus, and obviously he's out this year. And so he reached out to me, he said his mom lives nearby and he's going to be around, could he come meet with me? And it was a no-brainer to get him around the program. So thankful to have him, and look forward to spending time with him. He does a great job, just like all of our former players, of talking about what the place means to him on a personal side.
No matter how confident a player is, they can still deal with like pregame jitters and kind of that nerves going into it. Like after coaching all these years, is that even something you go into, or even players have pregame routines? Like, does a coach have kind of a routine they go through to get their mind right before a game?
Yeah, I think so. You know, every coach probably is different how they do it, and you know, for me, it's try to relax as much as I can. I've learned that getting hyped up early doesn't help me. You know, you just try to calm before the storm as much as you can, and listen to music that you like, get your mind off of the things that bother you, and focus on the players, the coaches, just being around. You know, letting those guys relax. I don't think it helps a player to see a coach tense out. You know, they want to see you ready, and so I just try to be there for them and help them get ready for the game.
I'm not sure.
It takes a little bit of time to figure out who people are in that first game. Is that true for your own team as well, given the changes that you've made?
Totally, yeah. I mean, there's guys that we haven't seen play in the game, a lot of them that are going to be major role players in this one. So there's excitement for me because some of them have practiced really, really well. And so you want to see the finish. We had 2 scrimmages, but the quarterbacks aren't live in those, you know. So some of it's seeing those guys finish on quarterbacks as well.
Not sure.
Two more.
Not sure how much you get to watch College Game Day every week, but you know, Lee Corso's done after this weekend. What has he meant to college football and kind of growing the popularity of it over the years to you?
You know, there's a comedic element to what he does that I think some of us really appreciate. And some people are, you know, it's serious, and having that comedic element to the game is fun, you know. And obviously his track record in the profession prior to becoming a commentator, but I just appreciated his energy and his enthusiasm and his love for the sport. And I like a good comedy, you know, so when he gets up there and does his thing and not so fast, you know, I love that. So I'm going to miss him a lot. I'm sure a lot of people will.
Coach, you mentioned coordinators. You have 2 new coordinators yourself. How excited are you to see them unleash?
Yeah, I'm excited for both those guys. You know, Kurt and DJ have worked well together. They're very organized. They've waited for an opportunity to get back in that platform to navigate what goes with it. I'm excited for both of them. We've got a lot of respect for both those guys and look forward to seeing them call the game.
Will they be in the booth? How will you handle the logistics of it?
Kurt will be in the booth. Yeah.
All right, is that good?
Thank you.